We've all seen the itinerary, the classic whirlwind tour of Europe or Asia, designed to cram a lifetime of landmarks into a 2-week window. The standard bucket list trip, like 6 cities in 10 days, relies on a volume-based strategy. The entire goal is to maximize the geographic ground you cover and check off as many landmarks as humanly possible before you fly home. But the marketing promise rarely matches the reality on the ground. By day 3, exhaustion sets in. Travelers skip the actual museum exhibits because they need to collapse on the ledge outside just to recover from the commute. For travelers managing POTS, MS, fibromyalgia, or aging mobility, these schedules represent a physical wall. For a body already dealing with nervous system burnout, a dense itinerary is a biological liability. The standard bucket list approach maximizes sights seen, but the physical toll is astronomical. Attempting a high-volume itinerary with strict biological limitations guarantees a severe physical crash by the second day. You spend a fortune to get there, only to be too sick to participate. It actively destroys the return on your investment. To prevent that crash, you have to shift how you plan. Instead of only budgeting your financial capital, you have to start treating your physical and mental energy as a literal currency with a hard daily limit. Healthy travelers operate with a massive daily limit. If they tire themselves out on a long walk, their battery recharges after a quick lunch or a single night's sleep. But if you live with chronic fatigue or pain, your baseline is permanently lower. When you overdraft your account, the interest rates are brutal. Overexertion means paying the price in severe pain and multi-day flare-ups. This diagram tracks 2 biological bank accounts. If you operate with a chronic condition and spend 100% of your energy on Tuesday, your account is bankrupt. You're penalized with a flare-up and won't leave the hotel room on Wednesday or Thursday. If you want to safely explore the world without triggering biological bankruptcy, you have to abandon traditional travel methods. You need a strict mathematical framework designed for your body. It's called slow travel. The first logistical pillar of a slow travel energy budget focuses entirely on daily pacing. The rule is strict. You must intentionally cap your planned daily itinerary at exactly 70% of your perceived physical capacity. This matrix compares a typical vacation's pacing against the energy budget. Instead of maxing out to 100%, you leave a deliberate 30% gap. That buffer acts as a shock absorber, paying the biological tax of unexpected friction, like a delayed train. Sacrificing a secondary museum provides the insurance policy required to ensure the trip can survive into the next day. The second pillar of the energy budget applies to how you structure your lodging. Point-to-point travel, moving to a new city and a new hotel every couple of days, carries massive hidden biological costs. The fatigue of hauling luggage, repacking bags, and adjusting to new environments drains your battery before you even start sightseeing. This flowchart compares 2 logistical paths. We replace that exhausting linear path with the hub-and-spoke model. You unpack exactly once at a central base camp. From there, you take short day trips, the spokes, returning to a familiar bed every night. This requires a clear geographic trade-off. Sticking to a central hub means you cannot easily explore distant, remote regions that require multiple transit connections. But by trading geographic breadth for stability, you eliminate the logistical friction of constant relocation. You buy back massive amounts of biological energy, and you are able to redirect all of it toward actual, deeply immersive cultural experiences. The final pillar of the framework is strategic transport, and it is entirely focused on eradicating junk miles. Junk miles are the exhausting physical labor required just to reach your actual destination. It's the energy spent navigating complex subway stairs, or the long mile you walk because you booked a cheaper hotel outside the city center. This scorecard breaks down the real cost of getting around. Booking a hotel within exactly 200 yards of the main attractions and paying out of pocket for pre-booked private transfers undeniably increases your financial budget. But those choices save your biological budget. A boat tour replaces the physical drain of walking, delivering cultural immersion without the exhaustion. It also creates space for the golden afternoon.
This framework mandates scheduled horizontal time between 2 and 5 p.m. Whether it's taking a deep nap or enjoying some quiet reading by a large window, you must return to the hub and physically rest. For travelers with mobility or fatigue constraints, premium central hotels and private transit serve as essential medical accessibility tools. They preserve the energy budget for the experience itself. Successfully adopting this framework requires managing the psychological pressure of missing major landmarks. However, clinical travel advisors note a distinct hidden benefit to this approach. When you aren't rushing to catch the next train or gasping for breath between scheduled stops, you actually connect with where you are. True presence requires capacity. You can only notice the jasmine or talk to a local shopkeeper when your battery isn't redlining. By intentionally doing less geographically, travelers shift the vacation from a painful checklist into a restorative experience to be lived. So, which approach is actually right for your specific constraints? This final checklist evaluates exactly who should use which strategy based on their primary limitations. If you are a highly able-bodied traveler optimizing strictly to save money and see the maximum number of sites, you are a maximizer. You can safely trade high physical stress for cheap transit and total geographic coverage. But if you are managing a chronic illness, persistent pain, or severe fatigue, you are an energy budgeter. For you, the standard approach is mathematically guaranteed to fail. When travelers embrace this framework, the primary result they report isn't disappointment about the things they missed. It is a feeling of absolute physical relief. The energy budget requires a higher financial investment and covers less ground, but it secures the traveler's ability to explore the world safely.